Yeah, so my name is Cameron Reynoldson, and I'm a computer science major here at UT Austin, and my current small group is my computer science pod. My name is Cameron Reynoldson. I'm currently a computer science major, and my small group is a computer science pod. Okay. So my biggest concern coming here to UT was whether or not I would find my passion, and I've heard all of these stories about kids not being able to find their passion here at UT, especially for computer science. It's like you either love it or you hate it, and I was worried about that. So when I got to my small group, in this case my computer science pod, I had found out that my mentor had already been through all of the worries that I had, and he could give me insight and help me with the problems that I'm having now that he already had last semester. My biggest concern from transitioning to high school to college was the fact that I might not find my passion here at UT. I knew I had an interest in computer science, but I wasn't quite sure that I loved it yet. And I heard all of these horror stories about how you either love or you hate computer science, and I didn't want to be the ones that hated computer science. But being in the small group that I'm in, the mentor that has helped me has given me insight to all of the problems that I've had my first semester because he had them last semester. So he's setting us up for success in the fact that he's sharing all his solutions to the problems that we're having now because he's already had them. Yeah, so my small group helped facilitate my transition to UT by setting me up for success. So one thing that my mentor always did was have a lesson planned out for things that he wished he learned his freshman year. So all of the problems that I'm going through right now, he's had his freshman year, and he's setting us up to be able to conquer those problems. And another big part about having a small group is the fact that we get reserved classes. So all of the stress of registration and getting the right professor kind of goes away because you get these reserved classes for good professors. And that could just make the difference in GPA that may land you your future job, which is definitely worth it. My small group helped facilitate my transition into college by setting me up for success. So my pod mentor always had lessons planned about things that he wished he had learned his freshman year. So whenever we have a question about something that they're not teaching in our classes, he already has a lesson planned to help us understand that. So not only are we getting ready for the... My small group helped me transition into college by setting me up for success. So every week he had a lesson planned about things that he wished he learned his freshman year. So I may be having a problem one week, and the next week he's already got a lesson planned out to, solve that problem. Not solve that problem. My small group helped facilitate my transition from high school to college by setting me up for success. My mentor always had a lesson planned on something that he wished someone had told him his freshman year, which is exactly what we needed. Someone to show us the path and set us up to complete the trail ourselves. Another great thing about having a small group is the fact that we get reserved classes. So we don't have to have the worry that at registration, we're not going to get the professor we want, or we're not going to get the class that we need to complete our core requirements because that class is already reserved for us. And it's a good thing to have because that difference in professor might lead to a better GPA or a better, just overall grade for that class and understanding of the subject, which might lead to a future job in the future that you might not have had otherwise. So the small group definitely helps getting ready for the class and getting ready for homework and tests and stuff because a lot of the faces that you see in your small group, they're already in the classes that you're in. The pods and the small groups are designed to help you with that. They're designed to put people that are in your classes in a small group and gear you up to do homework together and to study for exams together. So other kids might, everyone comes from a different background, so someone might know the solution to one problem that you might not have just been trained to think of. So you might not have known to solve a problem like that, or you might not have known to approach a problem like that. And I think it's good because, you have all these people come together from all of your classes who offer completely different insight, who can help you succeed in the class and help you get ready for job interviews or get ready for the next exam. And everyone collectively working together kind of helps get you ready for that because everyone offers that's kind of the point of studying in groups because everyone offers different insights. Someone might know how to solve one problem and someone might know how to solve another. And if you didn't know how to solve either, well, now you know how to solve both as opposed to spending 3 hours trying to learn the same thing, and I think that's a good thing. So I think if I wasn't in my small group this semester, I definitely wouldn't be as ambitious to, go out of my way to learn new things and to overly prepare for the exams and to try super hard on my homework, because you're not surrounded with kids that are already doing that. So the fact that there's other kids around you, going out of their way to learn new things is kind of influencing you to do the same yourself. In a sense, it's almost like a mini competition. You're like, oh, my friend here is going out of his way to, do this. Now I have to do that because we're in the same class and it doesn't make sense for me not to do it. And it's just, everyone doing that together and kind of racing towards the same goal helps you, helps drive you to success and helps drive you to get that job that you might not have gotten, or helps drive you to get, an A on the exam that otherwise you might have been okay with a B. But now that you know that your friend might get an A, you're like, okay, I got to get an A. And so you all study together and you all get an A. And it's an awesome feeling because you don't always expect for things like that to happen. And coming into the semester, I didn't think, I was like, okay, I'll go to this small group session. What's it really going to do? They're going to tell me a few things. I'm going to go back to my dorm and study myself anyway. But really, we all go there together and we all study together and we all work on our homework together. And in our pod sessions, we're all learning the same things because we're all in the same pod session and we're all in the same class. So we're all working towards the same goal and we're all helping each other reach a higher goal than we would have done before on our own. So one of the best resources I found on campus is the abundance of assistance and peer mentoring and tutoring and So one of the best resources that I've found on campus is the abundance of assistance and help that everyone's willing to give. So whether it be Calculus Lab, peer mentor, So one of the best resources that I found on campus since coming to UT has been the abundance of assistance and help that people are willing to give. So whether it be Calculus Lab, peer mentoring, tutoring, or even our pod session, so one of the best resources that has helped me transition into college is the abundance of assistance and help that people are willing to give. So whether it be Calculus Lab, peer tutoring, mentorship, or group study sessions, whenever I have a problem or something I can't solve, I reflect back to my study sessions or my pod sessions, or whenever I was being tutored by another peer, and more than likely, I'll remember that, okay, that's a really dumb. Yeah, so one of the best resources that I've found on campus that has helped me in my first semester is the abundance of assistance and help that people are willing to give. So whether it's Calculus Lab, peer tutoring, mentorship, or group study sessions. So one of the best resources that I've found on campus since coming to UT is the abundance of assistance and help that people are willing to give. So whether it's Calculus Lab, peer tutoring, mentorship, or group study sessions, the extra help. So one of the best resources that I've found on campus since coming to UT has been the abundance of assistance and help that people are willing to give. So whether it be Calculus Lab, peer tutoring, mentorship, or group study sessions, the extra help definitely serves as a catalyst for grade improvement and overall understanding of the subject. So I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a test and I've remembered the solution to a problem because of what I've remembered from one of my past group sessions. So this definitely serves as a lifesaver, having these small group sessions. So the academic advisors here at UT are amazing. At the beginning of the year, I was a little bit overly ambitious and I signed up for 2 history classes on top of 5 other classes that I already had. And about 2 weeks into the semester, I realized that the reading assignments were a little bit too much for me to handle. So I immediately jumped to go visit my advisor, and he was nothing but helpful. He offered a ton of solutions to, get through the problem that I had, and a bunch of resources, to set me up for success for my first semester. I can't tell you how much easier my semester is now that I went to my academic advisor. And a lot of kids are scared to go to their academic advisor because they feel like, oh, I'm going there to get help, I should be able to figure this out on my own, but really they're just here to help you. Like, they're on your side. They're here to help you have a better semester and set you up for success. So one self-advising tool that I found super useful was the degree plan checklist. Not only was I able to check off all of the credits I already had, but I was also able to plan out my next 4 years. So I could figure out exactly what classes counted for what core requirements and get that whole worry of registration out of the way, which made everything a breeze. One positive interaction I've had with my TA and professor has definitely been with my UGS professor. So a lot of us have been struggling with our final essay, and he took note of that. So instead of taking class time out, he made an extra study session outside of class to help us get ready for that final essay and kind of help us answer questions or get feedback that normally professors wouldn't give unless it's in their office hours or 5 minutes before class or whatever the case may be. So he took time out of his normal day and out of his research time to kind of help us and help his class succeed, which I think is great. I've recently discovered that you shouldn't procrastinate in college, ever. Most kids think that when you're coming here that you can, use the habits that you had in high school and kind of put things off and procrastinate and get ready for the test like a few hours before. But that doesn't work here. So I've recently discovered the idea that you shouldn't procrastinate in college, ever. Most kids think, including myself, oh, it's just like high school. How hard can it be? Well, the answer is very hard. The tests are harder, the homework is more frequent, and the exams count for a larger percentage of your grade. While it's important to have fun in college, it's also important to remember why you're here and take advantage of the opportunities that you're given. My time management skills have definitely evolved since I've gotten here. I start homework assignments the day they're assigned. I start studying for tests the day the material is released. So one good practice to have is to start studying the day that you get the new material. So study an hour a day maybe, and an hour a day, will lead to a better grade on the test instead of cramming the whole night before, which I've done recently, and it definitely is not a good option. One, there's a lot of stress involved, and two, it doesn't always reflect a good, or it doesn't always end up in a good grade. What surprised me most coming here to UT was the average level of intelligence here. Things are obviously much different in high school, but I was expecting them to be the same level of hierarchy and intelligence and average, okay. What surprised me coming to UT was the average level of intelligence here. So things are obviously much different in high school, but I was expecting the same level of hierarchy for intelligence and dedication, but I was obviously wrong. So what surprised me most coming to UT was the average level of intelligence here. So in high school, things are obviously much different, but here I was expecting the same level of hierarchy for intelligence and dedication, but I was obviously wrong. And this is why I encourage students to reach out to their peers and reach out to their friends, because more than likely, you're sitting next to kids that were in the top of their class. So they're going to be able to offer some sort of assistance, and more than likely, they're going to know something that you don't that might help you sometime in the future. Without a doubt, one of the best parts about being in a small group of other freshmen is the fact that we're all so unique, yet we all share the same goal in that we want to pursue our passion and succeed here at UT. Without a doubt, one of the best parts about being in a small group of other freshmen is the fact that we're all so unique, yet we all share the same goal in that we want to pursue our passion and succeed here at UT. Without a doubt, one of the best parts about being in a small group of other freshmen is the fact that we're all so unique, yet we all share the same goal and that we want to pursue our passion and succeed here at UT. Without a doubt, one of the best parts about being in a small group of other freshmen is the fact that we're all so unique, yet we all share the same goal and that we want to pursue our passion and succeed here at UT. Being in a small group, especially with kids in the same classes and the same major, helps tremendously because you never know who you're going to meet that could lead to opportunities in the future or help you with an assignment that you've been struggling with or help you prepare for a test that you thought you were doomed for. So one piece of advice that I would give to next year's incoming freshmen would definitely be to take advantage of the opportunities that you're given. Now, this might be to join the club that you might not have joined otherwise, or to reach out to a peer that might know more than you, or to reach out to a professor, or whatever the case might be. So for me this semester, I felt behind being in the introductory computer science course, but I came across a kid who's already interned at Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and I asked him, how'd you do it? And he was like, okay, if I tell you, you're going to have to work hard, and you're going to have to work all semester to get ready for next semester for job interviews and stuff. So we've worked all semester. He's been giving me problems to solve, things to learn, things to do outside of class, and although it does take time, it's definitely, well, definitely, it's going to pay off, hopefully. Dang.
Incoming freshman.
So one piece of advice that I would give to an incoming freshman is definitely to take advantage of the opportunities that you're given. So whether it be to reach out to a peer that might know more than you, or to a professor, or to join a club, or get a leadership position, I think you should definitely take advantage of it because it might lead to something in the future that you might not have gotten otherwise. So this semester I felt behind being in the introductory computer science course, but I reached out to someone who's already interned at Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and I asked him, you know, how'd you do it? And he was like, okay, if I tell you, you're gonna have to work really hard this semester, and you're gonna have to put in a lot of time to get ready for next semester and get ready for job interviews. And I was like, sure, I'll do it. Anything to get an internship. And so he gave me a ton of problems, a ton of things to learn outside of class. And although it does take time, I think it's definitely going to be worth it in the future because it's leading to opportunities that you probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise within that same year. So I think it's definitely important for freshmen to take advantage of the opportunities that you're given because once, I mean, at the beginning of freshman year, it's all a snowball effect. So you might get a job your freshman year, which leads to a job your sophomore year, which leads to a job your junior year and to your senior year. And that might not have happened otherwise had you waited till your sophomore year to kind of get your feet wet and get in the job interview game. One piece of advice that I would give to incoming freshmen is definitely to take advantage of the opportunities that you're given. So whether it be to reach out to a TA or to a professor or to a peer that might know more than you, or to join a club or a leadership position that you might not have joined otherwise, I think you should definitely do it because it might lead to future opportunities that you might not have gotten otherwise. So coming into this semester, I was a little bit worried because I was in the introductory to computer science class. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get an internship for next semester because most of the stuff that they ask you in the interview questions comes from the class after that. So I reached out to a kid who's already interned at Google, Facebook, and Microsoft, and I asked him, you know, how'd you do it? And he said, okay, if I tell you, you're gonna have to work extremely hard. You're gonna have to put in a lot of time after class. And I was like, sure, I'll do it. And so we worked all semester. He was giving me problems, giving me things to learn outside of class. And although it took a lot of time, I think it'll definitely pay off in the future because I might not have been able to get an internship otherwise. And getting an internship or getting a job or landing any opportunity your freshman year is important because it's a snowball effect from there. So one opportunity your freshman year looks great because they're like, oh, you were a freshman and you did that? So it'll lead to something your sophomore year, you have both. So now it'll lead to something your junior year. And I think that's something that you might not have gotten otherwise. So whatever the case may be, I think a freshman should definitely take advantage of whatever opportunity they're given and, you know, make the most of it. But yeah, I don't think it was overwhelming. I think it was just, you know, it's a different experience. You know, you're not going to know everyone in the class. The professor might not know you, probably won't know you unless you go out of your way to meet them. I don't know, it's a different experience because some classes you might have really small classes, other classes you might have really big classes, and it's just a different experience, and it's something that you have to get used to because you're not going to be able to know everyone in the class. You might not be able to know the professor or the TA, and that's something you have to adjust to, but I think it's okay because, you know, it's good to meet some people in the class. It's always good to meet other people in the class because they can help you study, they can help you get ready for the class, they can help you get ready for the tests, but you're not going to know everyone in the class, which is okay. And